Want to help the channel? Go to shopclownfish.com where you can check out official Clownfish TV merchandise in our brand new shop. It helps us out. Also, check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/clownfishtv for more art and gaming live streams that we don't do on YouTube. We want to see you over there as well. Now let's get into the video. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon, and we're gonna dip back into Twitter. No, I'm not going back to Twitter. Actually, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with my personal Twitter account. I kind of privated it and walked away a couple of weeks ago, and I really don't miss it. I am out on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can check me out there. But we're gonna talk about Twitter, the Twitter hack, and how private messages, DMs, have probably been stolen. Yeah, this isn't good. They talked about it before. They said they weren't sure. But now apparently Twitter issued a blog post talking about what happened. And yeah, there's a possibility that some private messages got stolen. They don't think it's very many, but the fact that it's possible definitely undermines the security of the site, doesn't it? So this is coming from The Verge. Twitter's update on the huge hack. 8 accounts may have had private messages stolen. Well, 8 that they downloaded the data from. We don't know if people took screenshots of other private messages. It's totally possible. Not safe. Twitter is not safe and not sane either. It sounds like the attackers didn't get Biden's data cache. Well, good for them. On Friday evening, Twitter issued a blog post about what happened after the biggest security lapse in the company's history, one that led to attackers getting a hold of some of the highest profile Twitter accounts in the world, including Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, Kanye West, Michael Bloomberg, and more. The bad news. That was the good news. The bad news, Twitter has now revealed that attackers may indeed have downloaded the private direct messages of up to 8 individuals while conducting their Bitcoin scam, and were able to see personal information, including phone numbers and email addresses for every account they targeted. That's because Twitter has confirmed that attackers attempted to download the entire Your Twitter data archive for those 8 individuals, which contains DMs among other info. This is what Twitter support said. For up to 8 of the Twitter accounts involved, the attackers took the additional step of downloading the account's information through our Your Twitter data tool. We are reaching out directly to any account owner where we know this to be true. Oopsie doopsie. Oopsie doopsie. They may even have the DMs that the 8 individuals tried to delete, given that Twitter stores DMs on its servers as long as either party to a conversation keeps them around. So even if you delete, I did not know this, even if you delete a DM thread on Twitter, if the other party still has it in their inbox, it still exists. Oopsie doopsie indeed. We learned last February you can retrieve deleted DMs by downloading the Your Twitter data archive, even if you've deleted them yourself. The archive can also include other personal information like your address book and any images and videos you may have attached to those private messages as well. God, they have a lot of information, don't they? And they store it unsecurely at Twitter HQ. The good news, Twitter claims, okay, this is the good news. The good news, Twitter claims none of those 8 accounts were verified users, suggesting that none of the highest profile individuals targeted had their data downloaded. Okay, well, here's a question. If the other person who's receiving the DMs has all the data, maybe one of these blue checks had a conversation with someone who wasn't verified that could potentially be damning, and they got the data from the other person's account. I'm just putting that out there. You don't have to be a blue check to have some damning DMs resurface, and that's just the stuff that they tried to download. Could you imagine if people were in the back end taking screenshots? They could have been taking screenshots for months, years, who knows? Because they think it was an inside job. They think it was a compromised Twitter employee. They could have been taking snapshots of people's DMs for months or years and passing them on to other parties. Who knows? It's possible the hackers looked at the DMs, but no, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and others probably didn't just get their DMs stolen outright. They're awfully worried about Joe Biden. They are awfully worried about Joe Biden. Twitter support, again, there's a lot of speculation about the identity of these 8 accounts. We will only disclose this to impacted accounts. However, to address some of the speculation, none of them were verified. It doesn't matter, does it? Because you just said that the person on the receiving end, even if they're not verified, they still keep that data. It could be somebody that maybe one of these people talked to and sent photos to or something. God only knows. According to Twitter, hackers targeted 130 accounts, successfully triggered a password reset, logged in, and tweeted from 45 of them, and only attempted to download data for that up to 8 non-verified accounts. We do not know how many accounts they may have scanned for personal information or how many DMs they might have simply accessed or read. And for the larger batch of 130 accounts, including high-profile ones like Joe Biden, Twitter says that they may have been able to see other sorts of personal information. Twitter also allows logged-in users to see a location history of places and times they've logged in. That could be interesting. That could be really interesting and really damning for some people, couldn't it? Celebrities or politicians. Yeah, so they think it was an inside job. They think it was an employee. They use the employee tools. And one of the side effects of all of this, here we go. I like this one, Mashable. Twitter says hackers swipe personal data. One of the side effects of this is that conservatives have more ammo now to accuse Twitter of bias, don't they? Because there were screenshots of the dashboard where they showed the different levels of shadow banning on the platform, something that Twitter said they didn't do. And apparently they do it. So there we go. But we all know that Twitter is pretty much a left-wing platform. In fact, even the media is like, if your customers are left-leaning, Twitter could be the place for you. Yeah, okay. But even before this hack, there was a forum that was obsessed with OG Twitter handles selling Twitter account access for $3,000 a pop. So who knows how far down the rabbit hole this goes. I think it's way, way worse than what they're saying. I think Twitter has been completely compromised, and this is a problem when you've got all these politicians and celebrities using this platform, sending each other God knows what, using their DMs for God knows what, assuming that Twitter is safe, and it clearly is not a safe platform. And as if you didn't have reason enough to leave Twitter because it's a dumpster fire of a social media platform, now it's not even safe. So here's some screenshots. Here's some screenshots from this forum. And I think this tweet actually got taken down, or some of them got taken down. You can buy Twitter accounts for $250. How are they getting access to these accounts? Right? They have to have somebody on the inside. This is coming from Hasib Awan, who is he works with Y Combinator, or worked with. Yeah, so this is an advertisement when the access was granted on the OG forums yesterday. There are multiple forums where your personal information is sold. Our accounts can be hacked on demand. The highest price is sold for lawyer and health professionals, which can go up for $2,000. Twitter's not safe, people. Shocker. Twitter, which has become the leading platform for hot takes by politicians and celebrities and journalists. Twitter can be trusted. You can trust Twitter. Put the tweets in your articles. Use Twitter to attack your political opponents. And it's not safe. Twitter is not safe. And they're selling your information. So here, Mashable now brought up that Slack is not safe either. They said how the Twitter hack highlights the dangers of Slack. So Slack holds the key to its customers' kingdom and has long been aware how problematic that is. Yeah, all these journalists, they're all talking back channel on Slack. I know, because we used to use Slack to coordinate on the websites I worked on. And yeah, could you imagine being a fly in the wall on some of these Slack chat rooms? Could you imagine if all these, comic book people or animation people, or all these people that are accused of being kind of the mean girls of a particular industry, journalists, gaming journalists, if you could actually be a fly on the wall and see the things that they said, or hack that account and download all the information and pour through everything that everybody has said, might be pretty damning. Wednesday's massive Twitter hack forced the company to lock out its own users temporarily in a desperate bid to stop the ongoing bleeding. And while it has yet to be confirmed, the New York Times reported Friday the hacker was able to access Twitter's internal systems and Twitter's own Slack account, where allegedly he found unspecified Twitter credentials that gave him access to the company's servers. If that turns out to be accurate, then all someone had to do to facilitate the takeover of more than 130 high-profile Twitter accounts was to gain entry to the colorful chat room where employees shared GIFs and chat about their workday. While this obviously came as a surprise to Twitter, it didn't shock Slack. Slack warned people back in 2019 that hackers gaining access to customer Slack accounts would be a disaster. At the time, Slack was preparing to go public. It required it to list possible risk factors the company could face in the years to come. One of those risk factors, you guessed it, hackers getting access to customer Slack accounts and all the fallout that could result. I think there's a lot of dirty dealings going on in Slack channels, on private Discords, on Twitter and DMs. And I think if anything, celebrities, politicians, journalists, anybody in the public eye is going to have to realize that, if you're tweeting or you're DMing somebody and you think it's private, it doesn't mean it's private. So we're going to see some really interesting stuff come up, I think, in the coming months, especially as we get closer to the election. I'm still convinced that somebody is probably going to blackmail celebrities. I think they probably have DMs that could be pretty damning if they were leaked out to the public. And if people were scanning those DMs, hey, they could just call somebody up and say, I want $5 million, I want $10 million, or I'm going to leak all of these photos, all of this really crappy stuff that you've said back channel, because it's not private. And you got to realize, if you're using social media, if you're using any of these platforms, there's a chance that someday somebody could get and read everything you've ever written, every photo you've ever sent anyone. So not secure. It definitely isn't. And now Rian Johnson, he said his Twitter account was deactivated. Now he's using Knives Out. I'm still convinced that Disney told him to delete that account. What'll happen? He'll delete his old account and then he'll come back with like a brand new account at the same handle. Like, oh, all my old tweets are gone. All my DMs are gone. Golly gee, I don't know what happened, but Twitter got me back in. Because, we heard that there were some things going on with Disney, that they're freaking out about some people and their usage of Twitter and their private messages. And I think it's very plausible that Rian Johnson, given all the controversy around The Last Jedi and Kathleen Kennedy and all the drama, probably has some DMs that he wouldn't want out there. Just a theory. Who knows? But until he gets his main account back, how come nobody else's main account is gone? Until he gets his main account back, he's tweeting from Knives Out. So there you go. You can follow Rian Johnson on Knives Out. I'm going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.